No bias here, definitely. I think that going into this one, it's going to be everything at stake. I mean, we're going in for this one, double purify. Why not? JC1 Ormson understanding that, hey, this is the only way they can affect us is by locking us down. Nongshim have plenty of them in spades.
They could literally mute Kyung9 here. If they have purify, they could just get out of his truth mantra.
Yeah, it could potentially be
Holler, Kintofu.
Defeat.
One game, one shot, win in advance, lose, and it's all over. This is gonna be it. Is it gonna be Nongshim RedForce, or is it going to be A.C.T? We'll see that in a minute.
Everything at stake going into this one. Final game for one of these teams. Who moves on? It's going to be interesting going in. If we're looking at the drafts, who are you giving the edge to, though, Kin?
I prefer A.C.T, but only if the game goes well. So.
Okay. No, look, if you've got an Ogryn, you've got that late game secured. I think that you will be fine. I think it's really going to come back to Illusion and to kind of set the tone, as well as Siri. I want to see this guy step up. We haven't really seen him play the typical Siri games where he just takes over.
Yeah, because there's no space, right? And I think A.C.T, this is a very different A.C.T team.
Yeah, Kyung9 actually fighting 1 versus 3. Illusion will join, misses the Kachusin. And Illusion, buddy, you got to step up. You got to start hitting them.
Yeah, you definitely need. Kyung9 actually manages to secure that camp for himself, so he is having a level advantage against Switch.
Look, let's talk about this bottom lane. I mean, Flowborn Marksman, definitely a newer hero, so some people might not be as familiar, but going up against the lane matchup of Marco Polo, your thoughts on this one, Kin?
Very hard, because Marco Polo is actually such a mobile hero. He will be able to avoid the skill sets on the side of Siri here. And at the same time, the decisions made by A.C.T so far have been much better. Ormson choosing to support Nitsua in that early game allows him to get that earlier extra lead in terms of wave clear.
And we saw that in game 1, right? Where, you know, Nitsua didn't have the greatest of games. He was definitely focused quite a bit, but Haku in a bad spot. They had the coalescence. And with that illusion play, that stun onto Flukio, slowing it down, Haku still kicking and screaming.
Okay, Illusion doing a very good job of saving Haku's life there. That would have been scary, but Siri...
Emergence, the flash away, that was a commitment, and he didn't actually commit the emergence as well, so just all a bit of a bait in that sense. But now A.C.T putting the pressure on. I mean, yes, this net worth is a bit of a tie, and it's a bit of a watch at this stage. Still too early to tell.
Definitely too early to tell at this point, but hang on. They're going to group up 3 different members. They want this advantage. Rotation is so important. Rotation speed even more important.
Definitely. And look, Siri's left kind of by himself. Faye doing the rotation, providing vision, seeing what jungle camps they could potentially steal. Nongshim doing a good job, and they'll take the Sprite in the top lane.
Okay, that's a big opening. Okay, look, I know I have repeated this before, but I do not expect A.C.T to match Nongshim in terms of gold.
Oh, but the Fever Barrage, that's the first one. Finds him, the emergence, they're potentially looking to jump. Faye will now join, but Nitsua not able to get any more.
Okay, comms maybe a little late coming in from Nitsua here. I think if they got that timing down, it would have been first blood, and onto Siri, no less.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he gets in, that emergence is such a huge signal, and Switch flashes away, but again, it's going to be, you know, if you're not really paying attention, you might get caught out. It's not the easiest thing to do, because the emergence, that animation is huge.
That's true. And also, bear in mind that this has been a pretty long series so far, so fatigue will start to set in.
Yeah, definitely. And Switch finding Kyung9. Those guys will be duking it out in that top lane. Yes, there was a rotation by Flukio, but again, it's all about that jungle matchup. Haku, how is he going to just... I mean, he doesn't need as much farm. Like, he's a Dune, right? He needs to stay alive. He needs to be that tanky boy. But Flukio needs to get going. They're going to try to get as much farm as possible.
The purpose of Haku's Dune is actually to force A.C.T into a corner. This is where Kyung9 is going to celebrate the benefits of having a Dune. But so far, if, let's say, the farm is matched up, it's not going to be an easy case for the side of Nongshim.
Yeah, will not be easy. And it looks like Kyung9 teleporting in the mid lane because they know that the 4-minute mark is where things are at. The Tyrant have spawned. And then now the pushback with that creation rock, they're going to force him back, but the Tyrant back in his lair.
Okay, reset. The buff is open though. Do they really want to contest this? They need that Azure Golem for Flukio.
Yeah, he needs to pick that one up. And I think that they will just kind of slow things down, and Nongshim might suspect something is astray. But Illusion spotting out that, hey, if anybody wants to make that jump, he can go in.
This is a signature pro play, so look, your buffs are very important. So sometimes it's not the #1 prior to go for that Tyrant. You know, the trade, if they get your buffs away, it's a horrible situation for you, even if you get the Tyrant buff.
Yeah. So you got to prioritize that because look, they're not going to go for the Tyrant as well. And if worst case scenario, you can just kind of get off the buff and just kind of help in and support when you need to. So it's not the end of the world. But A.C.T right now down about 600 gold.
Okay, not the biggest difference. End of the day, they're still keeping tabs onto whether this Tyrant is being taken by Nongshim.
Yeah, and look, in this bottom lane, again, the Siri...
He has been threatened, but he has stayed safe throughout this entire skirmish.
I mean, this is the biggest thing, Siri staying alive. If you're not able to lock him down, you're not able to do that damage. He has 14,700 net worth, 4-0-4. There's a reason why they're winning, but man, if A.C.T are able to draw a beat on Siri, they could potentially turn this game.
Yep, A.C.T, they're hanging on. This is much longer than what Nongshim would definitely want. You are about 3.5 minutes away from the Tempest, and if it goes there, it truly turns into a 50-50 again.
Yeah, and you don't want that, especially at this stage, right? The longer this goes, the better it is for A.C.T. I mean, they have the wave clear, and you kind of saw just how the siege that was happening by Nongshim at RedForce was not able to continue because, again, they were just, the minions were easily wiped out.
Yeah, Flukio did not check the brush there. Could have been a mistake here.
Oh, the Aeroborn right on the Flukio. He's going to do some work. The Overlord at about half. Flukio not scared, understanding that he has options. He has that sustain if they want to go.
Okay, at the same time, naturally the waves will be crashing against A.C.T's base, so they need to be very careful about the decision they make here.
Yeah, but they see. They know where it is in terms of the lane equilibrium in that bottom lane. Switch is going to make that rotation. A potential steal by Nitsua there, a little early on that Annihilation.
Yeah, Nitsua, I think the idea is there, but the execution is always just off by a little bit, and maybe the series might be lost by a little bit.
It comes back to those inches, right? Like, how close can you be? I mean, look, he's doing it blind. It's a game sense thing. He's slightly on. I mean, he's definitely within the vicinity of it, but unfortunately, just not able to connect, not lucky enough.
Okay, multiple tests coming in from Nongshim. The first test comes in, the first wave on the top, and the Shadow Overlord in the mid.
Yeah, this is going to be a potential game-ending push if they're able to go, but they don't want to make the mistake that Blacklist International did in that sense of just being a little bit too far up. They don't want to be caught out. The Annihilation is great. That will mitigate some of this wave clear in this mid lane.
Yep, they're holding well, but Faye does have his ultimate if they want to push them back in.
Yeah, they've got the Wind Slash onto Flukio, not the right target that you're looking for. This is going to be tough. They're very tanky boys on the side of A.C.T. It's going to be tough to crack into his armor.
Okay, they survived the first wave. Here comes the second.
Oh, they find Flukio. They do a decent amount there. Siri doing some serious work. Here's the Umbrella Offers with that pushback, and the Fever Barrage is going to connect, but JC1, he does get killed. Sage's Sanctuary phase down as well. Switch is looking to go. Siri's the Sage's Sanctuary, but they find JC1. 3 members down. That Annihilation will connect. Siri is finally down. The first of the game. Ormson looking to go. Switch with a double, and now Nongshim with only 2 members. It looks like they're going to retreat.
And they survive. That's the most important thing. They survive. A.C.T, I don't know how they did it. They managed to find Siri. Siri's down for 30. There is no more aggression coming in.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. You take down Siri, you got yourselves a chance. Here's the breakdown.
I think it was the Fever Barrage that really changed that matter here. Siri was balls deep into that particular range here. And at this point, that flash coming in, combo with the Annihilation, with the Nua as well, was really what changed the fight. Because once you don't have Siri in the fight, you have no more damage.
Yeah, I mean, everything is lining up for Siri to make that play. So it makes it a little bit easier for Protect 1, protect the President. A.C.T, understanding what they need to do, how to counter this. They need to find Siri at every single moment.
Okay, they have survived every challenge, every problem that Nongshim has thrown at them. Yeah. And finally, we reached that marker, Tempest Dragon.
Tempest Dragon, 20 seconds. A.C.T finding ways. Are they able to claw back? Because they made it very difficult. Nongshim have not been able to close this game out. Haku looking to find at least Switch. Misses the Wind Slash. Switch will sidestep.
Okay, this is a great situation for the side of Nongshim, actually pushing them back away. They're able to re-establish positional control for the side of that Tempest Dragon.
Yeah, but look at Nongshim still sticking on the southern side. The Tempest Tempest Dragon is there, they're not actually going to go for it. And A.C.T will definitely not start that, especially with all the waves crashing in.
So this is ideal, right, for Nongshim? Just don't take a fight. Let the waves naturally work in your favor.
Yeah, so again, slow it down, but again, you're giving a little bit more farm to JC1 and Flukio. And again, seeing as that Nongshim like to group up, JC1 has made them pay.
Oh no, the base, Siwi putting a lot of pressure here. They have to get that back from Nitsua, which means now they're outnumbered in the top half of this map.
Yeah, the emergence was used just to keep him alive, but again, Siri kind of has to back off. He's still sticking around that bottom lane. Switch understanding that that damage could potentially hurt. Faye is there to babysit though.
So many decisions to make right now. And Nitsua forced to use the flash. They are going in.
Oh,
and here comes the jump.
Nitsuo, he tried to make the play, did not expect the Umbrella Outburst and Haku to make an appearance here. Switch now fighting. This is a power play, but Siri still not in this fight.
Yep, and they can't overcommit, right? A.C.T, you don't want to burn out everything before Siri gets here.
I mean, Nitsua down for about 30 seconds. This is a huge opening. Does Nongshim want to continue on? It looks like the answer is so, but they do have the Tempest Dragon if they want to go.
Okay, I think they might want to rush for this.
I mean, this is a huge moment, opportunity if they're looking to go. They're trying to get the pullback. Illusion not able to find it. The Fever Barrage is doing a little bit of work, but JC1 is already down. Ormson is so low. Faye just trying to keep him alive with that Leaping Savior, and they find Switch. They find the damage. Flukio with a Blood Rage, and that's not going to be enough, and Nongshim move on.
Game over. What a series between these two teams, and congratulations to Nongshim RedForce. That one was a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, way too close. Nongshim, I mean, had to pull out all the stops. A.C.T making life so difficult. You're thinking that, hey, with super elite minions, everything crashing in, that, hey, we can close this game out. A.C.T are like, no. We're going to make this as difficult as possible.
Yep, huge respects to A.C.T Esports Club. You guys are an inspiration. Coming in